sucks. Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again, and welcome to another episode of my Hartford Whalers franchise mode series here on NHL 18. Now, in the end of the last episode, I thought to myself, it's the time to maybe end this series, but I'll tell you what. And I'm going to say the same thing in today's Montreal episode, although it's kind of more well-known in the Montreal episode. At this point, both series get more than likely, I'd say like 3 seasons max is what I'm thinking at this point. As we head into the new year, I'm definitely going to be looking to start up the new series. Now, with Montreal, of course, the quest is to still win a cup, and we have that new crop of talent that we're building around to try and do that. And here with the Whalers, we already have that young crop of talent that we're trying to win one more cup with. Of course, the difference between the two series right now is that we have had some success in Hartford. We do have a cup. But when you look at this, I think the problem is, and the one reason why I don't want to let go of this series, I guess, so to speak, is that Lydecker is only 23. We have had him on this team for so long, but he's only 23. Who can really say? Who knows how much more there is to accomplish? I mean, aside from multiple cups, who knows? He could be a future Hart winner. Hell, if Jyrki Petrolainen can win a Hart and a Vezina and a Ted Lindsay and then go on to have the postseason performance that he had, then who knows what our main man in Lydecker could do. The point of all this is to say we're not done yet, but we are going to refocus here. Now, the goal isn't going to be, let me go out and trade for all the best players and try to win a cup that way. We do have some pieces on this team right now that we can use, and that can be a part of that core in effort to win one more cup. And when looking at the goaltending, we're good. Petrolainen's not going anywhere. I'm extremely disappointed in how he performed, but he's not going anywhere. On the defensive side of things, we know changes are going to be made throughout this offseason because of how players like Christek, Telkvist, and Saugus will develop. Reimer as well, James as well. I mean, I could make changes right now if I wanted to, and to be honest, that might be a safe bet. We might not see this exact team stay. Someone like Harkins, for example, could be traded to make room for Cyzik in the top 4. I mean, if we're looking at left-handed defensemen to move, it's either going to be Gary Harkins, who is coming off a 34-point season, or it would have to be Kelly Appleby, who's coming off a 51-point season. So I think it's much more realistic and much more reasonable to get rid of Harkins. Offensively, there is the question over Phil Quick. He's down to an 84. The bottom 6 absolutely needs work. Skinner will be added to the NHL team moving forward. So we have some options throughout this offseason. I guess the first thing we need to figure out is whether or not we'd be able to trade into the top 5, and we wouldn't be able to get a deal done with St. Louis. We'll check with Edmonton, and Edmonton is willing to move their pick. All right, so that is our opening. I mean, we could just go and find a prospect to trade for, but you guys wanted a certain somebody added to this team. You were clamoring for it throughout the comment section of every video once you saw at the beginning of this prior season that he was available, that being Jesus Altshuler. Now, of course, that's the reason why the first overall pick is more than likely to not be moved. Of course, between Barker, Copeland, and Lashoff, we could probably get somebody decent, but let's be honest, I'm going to do my best to try and get Altshuler. So the first thing we're going to have to do is hopefully get a deal done with Edmonton. Easier said than done when you look at the players we have available to move. Although, I'd say the obvious choice would be to move Phil Quick in this deal. But if you look at the trade value, Phil Quick's worth a little bit more than that pick. So it might be worth using Harkins in this deal. We might even have to give up a little bit more than that. But what if I can use Harkins, who they want, by the way, along with, we'll give up that second rounder. That won't be enough. Nope. Never mind. Okay. We just acquired the second overall pick for Gary Harkins and a second. Now, of course, giving up on Gary Harkins, that's tough. But we do have Cyzik to immediately fill that role, and we have someone else to immediately fill Isaac's role in the third pairing. And let's be honest, when it comes to this draft, the plan pretty much was to just make this move. I mean, I'm not sure if I would have made this move had you guys not really, made your point clear as far as getting Jesus Altshuler here. Let's see if I can somehow convince St. Louis without having to give up an absolute fortune. Now, the good thing is they want this pick, so that is incredibly helpful. The next place to look is goaltenders because of the amount of goalies that we have, and Shea is the perfect guy to give up here. Is that enough? No, it is not, but I feel like it's a good start. I could give up Bartley, too. I could honestly give up Perreault and Drury as well. I'm going to add Bartley to this deal. Absolutely. Will that go through? No, it won't, and they don't want two players of the same role. Okay, I know they said that they prefer to have Bartley. I'm going to give them Shea, though. And who else can we use to make this happen? They wouldn't be against taking Vishnevsky, but I think he has an expiring deal. That is going to be a factor here. Bradford, 67 overall, 21 years old. Might be... I don't think he'll make it. I mean, there's a chance that he could, but I don't like his odds. Who else could we use here? They're not going to... No, well, Sutter, or a Stoll, Andrechuk, Sutter's there. Radek Bulis, and then Zerkal's, players like that we can't really afford to move. All right, let's go back to draft picks here. What if I also tack on the third round pick? Are we any closer? Not close enough, unfortunately. We'll take out the third. We don't even have our second next year. Let's give up our second way down the road. Is that enough? No. Of course, they don't want to move this pick, but it's way too risky to try and trade for a franchise-level player after he's been drafted. Way too risky. So let's think about what we want to do here and give up another defenseman. So, top pairing is obviously Appleby Tuzolino. Wellwood won't be ready. Sizik is ready. Telkvist might be, which means McAvoy is there as well. I need to sort this by overall. So Appleby Tuzolino, Sizik, McAvoy, Viggetti, and Reimer. Then James is also there. Kristek. Wow, the depth we have right now. It might be worth getting rid of Viggetti. How well is James going to progress? And Viggetti is already a top 4. Viggetti's just kind of like an average two-way as well. Like, defensive category is fine. 81 offensive awareness, decent puck skills, decent shot, not really physical. I'm all right with giving up Viggetti to make this happen. What if I take out that second? A first, or the first and the second overall pick. Shea and Viggetti. For the first overall, still no. Okay, we know it's going to be difficult to get. They don't want to trade the pick. I'm trying to be as smart about this as I possibly can. Let's go ahead and re-add the second round pick a few years from now. How's that looking? Still not even close. Oh, I don't know, because I don't want to add Phil Quick to this. I don't. I could, but I don't. But I'm going to have to. And I'm going to regret this too, of course, because we're in the Western Conference, based on when we started this. Is Phil Quick enough? No. Phil Quick has an expiring deal, too. That could be a factor. Now, it's more likely in this game that they'll be willing to make moves for expiring contracts. Wow. So I'm going to have to give up a guaranteed number 1 center and the number 1 overall pick to get a franchise-level player. But I don't have faith in Phil Quick. How could you at this point? So what if I go, let's just say 2 second-rounders. 1 second-rounder. Damn. Wow. That really shows the value difference. A third-rounder? Just to get something back? Straight up. Straight up worked. I wouldn't have gotten back a draft pick that would have made a major difference. We have traded Appleby, a second-round pick. Essentially, we've traded Appleby, a second-round pick, and Phil Quick for a franchise-level player. That is not a bad bit of business, in my opinion. We have the number 1 overall pick, and it's going to happen. You guys wanted it, so let's make it happen. The sniper from the Swift Current Broncos, Jesus Altshuler. 6 foot, 186 pounds, 18 years old. Jesus and Leidecker. Medium franchise, 79 overall. Only a 79. Higher than the medium elite. Oh, man, Barker, though. That's a great rating for a defenseman. I mean, both of them are NHL ready to start, as is Lashoff, so case in point. Copeland would have been a big swing and miss. And then there's Ronaldo. Wow. So, yeah. If we hadn't been able to trade for that, we would have had to have taken Barker or Lashoff. Otherwise, it would have been an absolute disaster. But Phil Quick is gone. Appleby is gone. Not Appleby. Glenn Harkins is gone. I was saying Appleby before it was Harkins. Sorry. As you get a look at the trade value. Damn. Let's take a look at the stats for sure. 86 offensive awareness by default. He's an incredible two-way. Like, even better than a sniper, he'd already be a pretty solid two-way. Very well-rounded stats. And he is going to be a very solid addition to the team, adding him and Skinner rather than having Phil Quick. That is an interesting start, not to mention the defenders that we're going to have to trade away. Now, already I made the right decision in not going out and acquiring anybody. Like, if I had traded one of my defenders for them for the 2nd overall pick from St. Louis and then taken Barker, that wouldn't have helped because it just would have added to the logjam of defenders. So what we'll do is we'll sim to our next pick. We'll make the very few picks that we have in this draft. Hopefully I don't get too many trade offers, and I didn't. We have the 4th pick of the 3rd round, and we'll make it. We'll see if there's anybody left as far as a steal goes. Now, see, how can we scout this guy out 7 times and not have him as an exact potential? It's like, I want to take the risk on him, but how could we? You know what? To be honest, I might as well, though. He's probably medium top 6, but it's either Boutin, Hamel, or Schaefer. So we might as well take the risk on the defenseman. Sylvain Boutin, 18-year-old offensive defenseman from the Chicoutimi Saguenines. Chicoutimi. Sylvain Boutin is the pick, and that is exactly what I expected. Medium top 655 overall. Boy, am I not a fan of how the scouting works in this game, but that is okay. 4th round selection. I mean, this has already been an incredible draft for us. No matter how you really look at it, we acquired another franchise level player. We have a Chan. Chris Chan. So do we go with someone who is on the board here, like Saprikin? Or do I take the risk with Hamel, the grinder? Sylvain Hamel. Hamel. Going with Hamel from Shawinigan. I bet he knows that young lady. Let's maybe, possibly, or do I just go for an off-the-board pick? I don't know. Or an on-the-board pick. Larmore, Beaufait, Potter? Let's just go for the whole low potential. Dmitry Saprikin, the Russian. Let's hope for the best. The best we will not get. But again, when that first overall selection went as well as it did, I don't have to be all that concerned about the follow-up picks. As I think we still have a 7th? Maybe? We do. 20th pick of the 7th round. Let's see. Who do we go with? That's a damn good question. I mean, I could just take an exact top 9 because I'd know for sure. We have an enforcer. Is it Brendan Shanahan? It's Barry Shanahan. I could go for Lawrence Buss. And I will. Lawrence Buss is the pick. Can we get lucky? Is the 3rd time the charm? No, it is not. So swing and a miss. We do have one more pick, though. All right, one more chance. One more shot. One more opportunity. Let's see if we can take advantage. There's a Belgian. There is a Belgian, and aside from that, I don't know. I just don't. Is this a James Avery? It's a Jody. Do we have a Winona Ryder? It's a Warren. Okay, I mean, I guess we're just going to pick off of name at this point. Because what other choice do we really have? Is that another Mika Zibanejad? It's not. It is not. All of these guys are just projected to be awful. Does anyone have league interest? Rodin, Dvorak, Ryder, Zigamanis, Bauk. I don't know. Whose name do I like the most? That's what it comes down to, really. It's a real shot in the dark pick, as I love to say. Might go for Harvey. Harvey Danger. Let's see. Can this sort, please? What the hell is going on? There we go. Sure. Let's go for the defenseman. Why not? Scott Harvey, 18-year-old American. How good is he? Not. That's the answer. He is just not good. And that is it for that draft. So the last 4 selections were hot garbage. But the one that mattered, was picking up another medium franchise player who might just be the key to getting this team back to the Stanley Cup. Let's take a look here moving forward. We don't want this being too short of an episode now. I don't know, we might have to go through the entire offseason. We'll see. We have plenty of cap space, but I got plenty of other videos I got to get done. We will re-sign Mr. Perreault, hopefully. On defense, we need to re-sign Vegetti. That is a stupid contract that he's looking for. Try to knock it down to 4.25. Vishnevsky, you can go. Appreciate your services as a depth player this season. Thank you very much. Right wings, Barber and Dujurkals can go. Left wing, oh boy. Lydecker needs a deal. I'm going to see if I can knock it down to $10 million. Let's go $10 million over 4 years, hopefully. Lowry, oh my God, is he looking to get paid already? Can we drop it down to 6.75? I'm just throwing random numbers out there. I'm not doing the 85% trick. Good Lord, some of these contracts. 4.25 for McAllister. Radek Bulis. Defensively, he's not bad. Do we bring him back? We brought him back this past season. Do we bring him back again? He put up 15 points. I'm going to let him go for now. I'm also going to get rid of Kamano. There's a good chance I'll bring back Bulis, especially, too, because that pissed off a couple of people. Spike Rowe, my goodness, are you looking for a better contract than you deserve? A lot of people were wanting me and have been calling for me to trade Spike Rowe for a while now, and today might be the day. It could be. Let's sign Bob Menard, and I think we're good. Yes, we are. Of course, we didn't send an offer out to Altshuler. We might as well just do that now, especially, too, because cap space-wise, so that we have that freedom to move whoever we want to move. It's looking like we're going to have to sign a veteran or two to a fairly crazy contract. Rowe accepted. McAllister, Lydecker rejected. Lowry, Altshuler, Vegetti rejected. All right. So Vegetti and Lydecker both rejected. I'm just going to give Lydecker the money he wants. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's just give him the money he wants. Let's not risk anything. We don't want to piss him off. 4 years, 11 mil. You deserve it. Now, Vegetti, not really sure if you deserve that contract, but we'll give it to you for now. I at least want to save that little bit of money, though, just to feel like I've won. Just to feel like I've won. It makes sense. I mean, let's penny pinch in the meantime. Because eventually we're going to hit that point where we're going to wish that we penny pinched to save a little bit of money. Lydecker accepted, Vegetti accepted. There we go. Okay, so the team is back together. I suppose the next question we need to find out the answer to is whether or not there are any free agents that are worth bringing in. If not, that creates an interesting situation for us where we'll have to sim to the preseason and see who improved. Rasmus Ristolainen is a free agent that doesn't really help us, though. We'll start off looking at goalies. Korpisala's there. We don't need him. Seabrook is there. He's an RFA, though. We don't need him. I'm not intrigued, really, by RFAs. Let's just look at UFAs. Perron, medium starter, 19 years old, 57 overall. We will throw our name into the hat there. Defense, I don't know how many contract spots I have. I should have looked. Kasparaitis, medium elite, 62 overall. We'll throw our name Into the hat, we also have Alexiev, who's a 73 at 19 years old. How did this guy slip through the cracks in this past draft? That is insane. All right, well, we'll hope for the best there. We're not going to sign Richmond, though. The other two are worth going after. And I suppose we should double-check about the best players available. The only guy I'd really be interested in signing is Risto. That's not going to happen. So we'll still look for prospects, especially, too, because we'd have to move players. Low top 6, 62 overall. Scratchins? Yeah, we might as well. Let's see if he's willing to sign. Left wings, medium elite, 59 overall, Versteeg. So quite a few players managed to find their way through. You also have Wagner, 20 years old, 74 overall, low elite. What a signing he would be. We have Sprukst and Koriston. And with that, we're pretty much good. Actually, I didn't even see how many contract offers I sent out. I should have looked. Let me double check here. I sent out 7 offers. How many spots do we have available to us at the moment? Let's see. And we're good. Potentially. Goaltenders. Yeah, we have the room to sign one more goalie if necessary. We should be okay. Odds are at least one person is going to reject the contract offer anyway. I'd like to think we're going to avoid the situation where it's like, oh, I'd like to sign, but you have no space left on your team. I'd like to think we're going to avoid that. As the goaltender, Perron has signed. Scratchins has signed. Versteeg has signed. That's a big one for us. Kasparaitis. Koriston. That's a real good start. Wagner, that's the big one right there. 74 overall. Alexiev. I think we just got everybody. I said I thought at least one guy would decline. That was not the case. Every single free agent that we set our sights on signed with the team. That is tremendous. So far, so good in this episode. We'll see how we can manage to screw it up more than likely. Now it's just a matter of optimizing this team, picking who we want to stay, figuring out who's going to be leaving the team, and then seeing what we can get in return, whether that be other younger prospects to kind of continue the prospect factory feel, whether that's draft picks that we hope will end up being decent. We will have a couple of options. I don't know if I'll be trading away players, en masse. Merry Christmas. I'm losing my mind, man. I'm losing my mind. But you get the point. Not sure how many moves we'll make, aside from figuring out who fits where with this team. Not to mention, we might have some players who are not currently under contract that could be worth bringing in. We shall see. So let's take a look once this is good to go. Could have made a jump cut at this rate, but now it's probably not even going to be worth it, because within seconds, moments even, it'll be good to go. Or maybe not. Maybe I should have just, put in, hey, never mind. See, it wouldn't have been worth it. Not at all. Let's take a look. First of all, at the contracts. I want to see if we have any players who are worth signing now. Of course, players are supposed to be able to progress without being signed, so we'll keep that in mind. And keeping that in mind, there's really nobody there. For forwards? Anybody? Nope. Not at all. Not at all. We would probably be better off signing a free agent, whoever it may be. So we're good. Let's take a look at who progressed and what this team looks like. So Drury is still a bona fide starter. Bartley and Perreault are both backups. Now, the problem with Shea is he's 22. So more than likely, we'll get rid of Perreault. I mean, we're going to have to choose a backup goalie. Perreault, Bartley, or Drury. Shea can be the backup because he's good enough to at least be a decent starter. We'll have Perron there, and we'll sign a veteran to take up a spot. So we just have to decide who we want to be the backup. And I have a feeling if I leave it up to you guys, let's be honest. I mean, with Drury, probably worth getting rid of outright. Might as well, since he's a starter. So it comes down to Bartley and Perreault. And what I was going to say is I have a feeling most people would choose Perreault because he has a higher poise rating. Well, it's not always a guarantee. Tough to say, but one of these two goaltenders is going to be our backup this year. I'm just not sure who it's going to be. So we are going to send down Drury and have our three goalies. We'll just have to decide. Bartley's a slightly better overall, so that could factor in. On defense, Tuzolino, Appleby, McAvoy, Cyzik, Viggetti, Reimer, and James. All of them are top four. Is it worth trying to keep everybody happy? Probably not. It's probably not worth running someone who's in a top four role as a third pairing guy, because that just means we're going to have to screw with our power play. So when it comes to these top four roles, I mean, Appleby, Tuzolino, McAvoy, Cyzik. That's what it looks like. I mean, it comes down to Cyzik against Reimer. Now, Reimer does have 89 offensive awareness, solid puck skills, kind of a mash shot, really strong skater, good defensively. Cyzik has 91 offensive awareness, an incredible puck skills category. Cyzik wins. So I'm sorry to say, but Reimer is gone, just outright. And then it comes down to McAvoy, Viggetti, and James for who else gets those minutes. Now, James, medium top four, awful offensive awareness, a tremendous skater. That is probably the best skating category I've ever seen. 99 for acceleration and agility, 97 speed. He has a tremendous shot as well, decent puck skills, but that 78 offensive awareness is concerning. He only put up 35 points in the AHL last year. I think by default, he is out, just by default. So that means it comes down to Viggetti and McAvoy, which McAvoy has the offensive awareness advantage. He has the puck skills advantage. Defensively, McAvoy has a slight edge. He's also more physical. Viggetti's out, which means we need a third pairing right-handed shot to play with Christek, and that is Preston Saugus, who is fairly well-rounded. Decent puck skills, decent shot, decent skater, decent physical player, decent defense, decent offensive awareness. Just a perfectly decent player, which means Viggetti, Reimer, and James are also on their way out. Down in the AHL, it's looking like we'll have Telkvist, Alexiev, Wellwood, Flood, Kasparaitis, and Neterost. Now, Telkvist, it'll be intriguing to see how he progresses. He's pretty much going to be the main man. With Alexiev, we have Wellwood. I'll be intrigued to see how he continues to develop. He'll be with Flood. And then we have Kasparaitis. Neterost will be the depth player on the left-hand side. So we're going to need to sign two right-handed shots for the AHL. One solid player to be in the starting lineup and another depth option. So we have that pretty much figured out. So that's our defense, because Saugus will continue to improve this season. So Cyzik definitely takes a big step up, and we're going to see Viggetti lead the team as well. And then offensively, taking a look at these overalls, Menard might be good to go. Wagner is going to be good to go, potentially. Of course, we thought about potentially. We thought about bringing back Boulis. It's not looking like we're going to have a spot. Not to mention, we have 5 first-line caliber players. Now, here is where it might be worth keeping all of them. With the defense, I didn't want to keep top 4 players on the third pairing, because for the power play, we want it to be Tuzolino, Appleby, McAvoy, Cyzik. Instead of, it would be Viggetti, Reimer, Tuzolino, Appleby. That doesn't make sense. But on offense, where whatever 2 out of the 5 are on the second line, let's just say it's Lowry and Kreider like it was last year, they can get the top power play time, while McKinnon, Leidecker, and Patrick get third line power play time. So that is okay. What's not okay is the log jam of talent that we have that are all kind of in the same bracket here as third line players. So let's go best lines really quickly. We might have to change a few things around, but I mean the top 6 is locked in. I mean, it might be worth giving Spike Rowe one more chance. He's going to be on that, in the top 6 on that second line it might be worth giving him one more shot. That's all I'm saying. And it's looking like we could run Kreider as the second line guy. We're going to want Altshuler and Skinner together on that third line, which could be incredible for us. I know what you're saying. It might be worth running Altshuler on a higher line so that he develops, but it makes sense to slot him in that role. So we're going to want a more offensive center. Skinner has a 70 for faceoffs. Altshuler has a 75. Pressburg, 88 offensive awareness. Stoll with 85 and 88 there, and then Andreychuk. So let's take a look. Pressburg, the better shot goes to McAllister. Better faceoffs to Pressburg. And then Stoll, yeah. So it comes down to McAllister and Pressburg. So McAllister, let's say it's about even for puck skills. I know the extra half star is there for Pressburg. It's about even, in my opinion. Offensive awareness is even. That's what it comes down to. Is either McAllister or Pressburg on that second line with Jesus Altshuler and Ron Skinner, the rookies. So for now, we're looking okay. It could still be Lydecker, Kreider, McKinnon, Lowry, Rowe, and Patrick. That could be what we go with. I'm not against that. I mean, Owen Kreider, he's only 20 years old. Solid season last year. Is he good enough to step up and play with Lydecker and McKinnon? We're going to find out. It's just who is going to be that third line center. And I got to be honest, because he has the slightly better shot, I'm leaning McAllister. Which means the fourth line, more than likely, because again, we don't want to run into issues, the fourth line will more than likely consist of brand new players. Because I don't want to have to deal with people wanting power play time that we really can't afford to give power play time to. So Andreychuk, Stoll, and Pressburg are potentially on their way out. Again, I'm not going to make these trades now, in case any of you guys want to argue for saving a certain player. I'm just setting this up as I would set it up. And the fourth line, I mean, Menard and Wagner are absolutely in. And from there, obviously, we'd have to bring in one extra player. Who that is, I'm not sure yet. We could, trade for whoever when this happens. So if we look at the team again, let's go best lines down in the AHL for the moment. We'll go best lines here as well. So the fourth line will consist of Menard, Wagner. Who's the better center? Better faceoffs for Menard, better defense for Wagner. So we need a fourth line right wing. And honestly, I'd be looking for someone who is just a shutdown defenseman. I would keep Pressburg, but I'm not convinced. Like, here's the thing with Pressburg. Yes, he's decent defensively, but with 88 offensive awareness, I don't think fourth line time would be using him to the best of his ability. We'd probably prefer to have that fourth line be shutdown players, and the problem is too, Menard and Wagner aren't quite shutdown players. But if we could find a right wing who is just a lockdown defenseman, it would make sense. Or if we decide to keep Pressburg or McAllister, whoever one of those guys are as an odd man out, we could do that as well. So we certainly have options. Right now, it's just a matter of picking the personnel that we want to go through with. But in my opinion, the only question is who gets that third line spot. McAllister, Pressburg, Stoll, or Andreychuk. You guys would have been able to see their attributes. And then who gets the fourth line spot between McAllister, Pressburg, Stoll, Andreychuk, which again, I don't like that, to be honest. I think we have to find someone new. So the third line spot, McAllister, Pressburg, Stoll, and Andreychuk. It's going to be one of them. And then we're going to go out and find a high-end fourth line right wing who can play those shutdown minutes, who can hopefully play some really aggressive hockey as well. And I think that'll bring the team together. So actually here, let me take a look at forwards. And let me see here. If we look at the defensive category, So 4-star, 3-star, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 4-star. I mean, I'm looking for higher than 4-star defense. I mean, I can sort it out. Yeah, like the best guy here that I would want is George Robbins. But, I mean, he is like all-out defense and checking. So I'd have to go out and look to try and find that perfect fit for this team. But we've done it before. Someone like Austin Watson, who we, ended up getting out of nowhere. It could happen again. So I'd say for the most part, we are good to go. In the next episode, unless you put up a very good argument for one of the players, more than likely, Prestberg, Stoll, Andrechuk, Reimer, Vegetti, James, Drury, and whoever the hell else, either Perot or Bartley, depending on who we go with as the backup, will all be traded. And again, we'll look for either picks in return or players to further bolster the prospect depth down in the AHL, which, let's actually take a look at what that would be. Let's take out Andrechuk for a minute. With Stoll, we'll bring in Koriston. And then do I have any other forward prospects? Alexiev, Hall, and Versteeg. Okay, so we're going to be able to really kind of make our own picks here as far as who we get rid of. We have a couple of medium top 9 guys as well. So someone like Celios can take a seat for Versteeg, I would say, first and foremost. You get the point. I'm not going to set this up now, but we could look to bring in another forward. And then on defense, just to take a look, what's it shaping up to be? Wellwood is in. Oh, that's right. We just need to bring in one more really solid right-handed shot and a depth right-handed shot. And then we're good to go. That is indeed what is happening. So, again, Kasparaitis will be in the lineup. Netarost will be the backup on the left-hand side. We're going to bring in a right-handed shot to play probably behind Telkvist and Flood, and then we'll also sign a depth player. Doesn't necessarily need to be a prospect. So, guys, I think we're set. As I mentioned, I want to leave you the opportunity to give me your feedback and maybe present an argument for a certain player. But right now, I'm feeling pretty good. Both teams are set up fairly well. A lot of it does depend on certain players progressing. But for now, we're looking good as we continue into our final few seasons here with the Whalers. The hope is to win one more cup. If we do win one more cup, even as soon as this season, that would do it for this series. But at some point, as much as it sucks, we are going to have to step away from the Whalers series. But for now, it is still going ahead, and we will hope to find success starting in that next episode. So until then, I hope you did enjoy. Looking forward to your feedback on the episode, and maybe, again, the arguments you may have for keeping one player over another. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Take it easy. Goodbye.